want to thank you all for joining us for this edition of Wildfire Championship Wrestling
Reignition.
Hey, we are getting good at that.
Getting good at it, old man.
I'm Mike Blankenship. Alongside me, Walter Dixon. Tonight, we are going to talk about the week that was. Friday,
and the weeks that will be.
Absolutely. Friday, Johns Creek Elementary, Broken Arrow Bash. First time we was at Johns Creek Elementary. First big wrestling promotion to be in Johns Creek Elementary in 40 years. And Wildfire Championship Wrestling brought the A game, if you ask me, old man.
Absolutely brought their A game. We turned out what I believe is probably the best show so far. Hey, we had a lot of big names come in. A lot of names coming in from out of town. A lot of new faces into WCW. And, hey, huge main event.
A huge main event.
So,
you know, you had Hillbilly Gil going one-on-one with the Unknown that night again.
The Unknown has something. He has something against hillbillies.
He don't like hillbillies, but I tell you what, he keeps going after them every time
he keeps getting his jaw jacked too. But that's beside the point.
Do that. Hillbilly Gil again picking up the win at Johns Creek. Had a great match with the ladies. Newcomer Emily Rose going one-on-one against a now fan favorite Betty D. And I got to say, Betty D is a fan favorite. Is pretty damn awesome if you ask me.
Betty D, fantastic performer, which we knew she was a great performer from the show at Winter Brawl at Pike Central.
Absolutely.
She put on a fantastic match there, but she was definitely not a fan favorite there. However, at Johns Creek, as I stated in the show, for those of you who haven't seen the recap, please go back and watch that. She is, after coming to Pike Central, she made the determination that Eastern Kentucky is not the backwoods hick town that she thought it was, and she said that she enjoyed herself so much she wanted to come back and do it again. So
to know us is to love us.
Absolutely.
It is what it is. Then you had the Riches and Arson going up against Zexy Z Collins and Jax and
newcomer Brandon Idol.
Pretty boy Brandon Idol.
I like to call him Broomstick if you haven't seen.
Well, no, that's his manager. He carries the broomstick.
Yeah,
either way. But then you had newcomer Ethan Heyer coming in. That was
Big time Ethan
Heyer going on one-on-one with Corey Sparks.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic match as always from Corey, and for a newcomer to WCW, Ethan Heyer put on a fantastic match.
Absolutely. You know, and the main event of the evening, Adam Newsom, the Human Horror Movie, and the franchise Shane Douglas going up against the Russians with Ava Zukov.
And on the intro to that match, we had a little bit of an issue there ourselves. So
yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay,
we'll gloss over that in a minute.
We'll gloss over it for the time being.
You know, that was a great match. Sadly, it didn't end the way we wanted it to. Double pinfall. I still believe that Adam and Travarsky were the legal men, and that was your pinfall.
I honestly, it's not just an opinion, folks. I am about 99% sure that that's fact.
You know, I don't want to point fingers at the official. He worked his tail off that night, worked every match.
Yeah, Al was by himself that night, so it's understandable.
You know,
he was a little fatigued.
Mistakes happen, and we get over that. But
human error being what it is.
All in all, Johns Creek was a great show.
Fantastic show.
Then, the next night, we go to Allen Central High School, the old Allen Central High School, the old Allen Central Gym, home of the Rebels.
Fantastic venue. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Absolutely. That
But-
venue change was probably the best decision that the people in the higher up positions of Wildfire Championship Wrestling ever made.
You can tell, folks, if you go back and watch that, the recap on that, check it out on YouTube or Facebook. That place was packed.
They were on
Without
their
a doubt,
feet.
there was there hasn't been an event in that arena that's brought in that many fans, probably in years, maybe a decade.
Absolutely. Had some great matches on that card. You had Arson, Z Collins, and Hillbilly Gill. Arson.
And the Riches.
No. Wait a minute. I'm off.
Yeah. Arson and the Riches versus... No,
that was at Johnson.
Friday. My apologies. It's been a little bit, folks. We apologize.
It was a three-way match. Arson, Hillbilly Gill, and the Unknown.
Yeah.
In a three-way.
In a triple
Z
threat.
Z Collins accompanied the Unknown.
That's correct. Yeah.
Started out as a three-way match. I don't know what you call what that ended up as because Hillbilly Gill and Arson got the pinfall on Z Collins and the Unknown in the middle of the ring.
It started out as a triple threat and it ended up as a tornado tag.
Yeah.
Is the best way I can describe it.
Which tells me right there, anything can happen in Wildfire Championship Wrestling.
And, hey, after Saturday night, I want to make this point. The big takeaway from that is how well Arson and Hillbilly Gill work together, but also that Arson is now undefeated in his tenure as Mountain Heritage Champion, and Hillbilly Gill is undefeated 5-0 in his tenure with Wildfire Championship Wrestling.
Absolutely. Great match. Like I said, you couldn't take away from it. Other great matches on that card. We had a mixed tag team match. The franchise Shane Douglas and Betty D going up against Ethan Heyer and Emily Rose.
And it was a true mixed tag match. It was not originally, I don't think it was supposed to be. But
let me just say this. Any man that would put his hands on a woman comes up short.
Yeah. Pun intended?
No. But I promise you, we'll just let's just
leave that one be.
We'll let sleeping dogs lie, so to speak. But
Chihuahuas.
Okay. Then we had on the card, you had Nick Hamrick going up. Nick Hamrick went up against Corey Sparks.
Nick Hamrick and Corey
In a
Sparks.
return
That's correct.
match.
Return match there, yep.
Great match.
Fantastic match. Again, both guys top, very, very top quality performers. Even if you don't like the accoutrement that goes with Nick Hamrick.
Well, I wouldn't talk about Adek Vickers like that and call him names.
His mama named him right.
Well, that's a fact. But, the big takeaway from that one, the big main event, the Riches, Tommy Wildfire Rich, Richie Rich, and Sergeant Major Jeffrey Aldrich in his return to Wildfire Championship Wrestling going up against the Russians, and Pretty Boy Brandon Idol with Ava Zukov.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say it, and I'm just going to come clean and say it now. I believe the Russians got what they had coming.
Mm-hmm.
So much that Ava Zukov saw that the writing on the wall, so to speak, and had to interject herself into that match and cause the disqualification to save her boys.
Oh, absolutely. I'm right there with you.
But while we are on the Russian,
can we finally?
We can.
Okay.
Let's go back to Johns Creek just for a minute. We're sitting up on the stage in our former elementary school, minding our own business, calling action.
Doing what we do.
Doing what they paid us to do.
Play-by-play, commentary.
Best in the business. You won't find better than us. Don't
Best in the world at what we do.
That's exactly right. And Russians music played, Russians come out, and Smirnoff decides he's going to start pointing fingers at me.
Well, at you, at me, at us.
Larson's pointing fingers, Smirnoff's pointing fingers. And there's a whole lot of finger pointing.
And I do want to point out, too, that at the moment that they were coming out, a young female fan happened to be a member of the Central Archery team, had made her way to the stage where we were set up doing our commentary, and she had drawn my attention from my right side where she was asking me if I could announce that she had lost her phone and that if anyone had found it to please return it.
Yeah.
Where our commentary doesn't go through, our commentary is not played over the PA system.
You, the fans, will never hear us in a show.
Right.
As sadly as that is.
Unless, of course, it's during the Facebook Live of intermission. But you don't hear us during the show.
Maybe they should.
Well, they definitely should because, I mean, But we are here, we do this so that you have that context that goes with the show that you would get if you were live.
Yeah, but,
But let me finish So this girl has my attention here, and I'm trying to point to our ring announcer, Lisa Cantrell, and tell the young lady, tell Lisa Cantrell, and she will announce it, so that the fans in attendance will know, hey, this phone's missing, and to please bring it to the young lady. And my attention is thus diverted, and next thing I know, you've now raised up above me, and I turn and look, and these Russians are, well, giving us down the road, giving us the way to go.
What did we ever do to them? I mean, I hate to keep going back to January 27th, 2024, Winter Brawl, Pike County Central High School, when I'm loading my vehicle up, minding my own business, and the next thing I know, you're picking me up off the ground, and we're heading to the hospital.
And if I hadn't have, if Alex hadn't have left his phone there, I wouldn't have turned around to come back, and who knows where you would have been.
Well, it leads me to believe, and I think, who could have done that?
Who would attack
a
commentary member of the commentary team
who is not a professional wrestler by anybody's standard,
not a performer, not an athlete.
Look, the last time I ever done anything athletic, and I'll just be blunt with the people, was in Little League basketball. You can mark your words on that. I'm not athletic, not a professional wrestler, but be that as it may, back to Travarsky and Smirnoff, fine names. Finally got them some, I guess.
Well, and don't forget Ava and Yakov.
Well, Ava and Yakov. But they want to point fingers at us. That's all well and good, but they might not want to turn their back on the things that are happening around them that may cost them those beautiful golden Wildfire Tag Team Championships that they have managed to somehow
reacquire
from Tommy Wildfire Rich and Ricky Morton in Rome, Georgia, mind you.
Wish we could have been there for that match.
Oh, I would have. But, you know, it's like this, and I've said it once, and I've said it 100 times. They want to point fingers. That's all well and good. We're not professional wrestlers. That ship sailed a long time ago for us. So if it's a wrestling match they're looking for, they're really barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on that same topic, if it's a wrestling match, you're right. If it's a wrestling match they're looking for, that ship sailed a long time ago.
Yeah.
If it's a fight they're looking for,
keep pointing them fingers, boys. You might get you one.
Because I ain't as good as I once was. But I'm as good once as I ever was.
Exactly. And that leads us to the next big thing coming up this weekend. Coming Saturday, March 15th, we're going to Sandy Hook, Kentucky, home of Keith Whitley, the late, great country music Hall of Fame legend, Keith Whitley, going to be in his hometown, bringing Wildfire Championship Wrestling to the good people of Sandy Hook.
Homecoming 2024.
Homecoming 24. You know, I've been on a Keith Whitley kick this last week.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask anybody that's talked to me, they've been some Keith Whitley playing on the radio. So,
well, there's always Keith Whitley playing on my phone, but
yeah, I mean, he's great.
Yeah,
We're going to be there.
one of the greatest, if not the greatest, male vocalist in country music history,
And I will go
taken
ahead,
from us far too soon.
let me go ahead and say one thing. That show is going to be one for the ages. Mark your words. I can't go in any deeper, but be there. The next night, Jenkins, Kentucky, Wildfire Championship Wrestling, Mountain Mayhem, taking place at the Jenkins High School. Going to be another great event. We're going to have some great names on hand, great matches. Again, you and me are going to be calling them.
Which means it's already great.
Well, of course. I mean, who else are they going to get to do this job? They ain't going to find nobody better. Monsoon's dead. Heenan's dead. Soley's dead. I mean,
JR's still kicking, but,
how high?
yeah.
But it is what it is. They got us, and we will be there to call the action as it is. You people, tickets, $10 general admission, $15 ringside. Look, guys, you're not going to take your old woman out to eat any cheaper than that. So get her a ticket to the wrestling match. Let her come out, enjoy her evening, get her some nachos and a bottle of pop, feed her.
God knows if you don't feed them, they'll get mad and scratch the dashboard of your truck.
It ain't one of them cases if you give them water after midnight, is it?
Well, no, that was Gremlins.
Never mind.
But
I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
But the great redneck comedian Jeff Foxworthy did say that that's what a woman does when she gets mad, gets hungry. Is she? If I don't stop and get something to eat soon, I'm gonna scratch the dashboard of this truck. So,
So, guys, anyway, 2 great nights of professional wrestling, Wildfire Championship Wrestling, bringing it to you. I'm excited.
March
I really
15th
am.
in Sandy Hook, March 16th at Jenkins. You have 2 opportunities that weekend. There's no reason to miss this. And, folks, this is now going to be the 3rd time in a month and a half, that we have had double shows. Wildfire Championship Wrestling is taking off, no pun intended. It's
on
like
fire.
wildfire.
Exactly.
And we are blazing a trail across Eastern Kentucky. We're always looking for new venues. We're always looking for a new home, a new place to call home anyway for the night.
Sorry, guys. I've got to look at something while he's talking.
We
Go
are
ahead, continue.
We are without a doubt the largest and fastest growing wrestling organization in the region.
Absolutely. And guys, if you want Wildfire Championship Wrestling to be your fundraiser or to come to your town, please get on Facebook. Go to the Facebook webpage. Send a message. call this number, area code 606-369-9743. Make that happen for you. You all want professional wrestling and not some of this stuff that you turn on the TV and it's too inappropriate that you can't show a kid.
We don't have our female talent are not running around out here in lingerie and next to no clothing. There's very, very little, if any, foul language. We don't have idiots jumping off ladders into glass tabletops, and we don't have any of this sports entertainment. This is true professional wrestling at its finest, and it is family friendly every single time we go out.
And you don't have to sign an NDA, I promise you.
Absolutely. No NDAs required, and everybody uses the bathroom in the proper receptacle.
Guys, remember, March 15th, Sandy Hook, Kentucky. March 16th, Jenkins, Kentucky. You guys can't miss it. Get your tickets. Get out there. Again, we'll be there. We've got a big announcement. I am excited about that. I want to touch on it. Big announcement.
Huge announcement.
Big. It's going to be big. It's the biggest thing me and Walter Dixon's done in our lives. Hey, you all be at Sandy Hook. You'll find out firsthand. For Walter Dixon, I'm Mike Blankenship. Wildfire Championship Wrestling coming to a town near you. As always, stay safe out there. And until next time, so long from the Bluegrass State.